Be prepared for highly offensive language throughout and adult and sexual themes.
Come on, we're literally running out of time. Can you hurry up and change that? Unloosen that.
I need to adjust this for the...
Yeah, just do it, Jim. I haven't got the time for it. I can't have ambiguity. We're supposed to be challenging gender stereotypes. Do it quicker. Come on.
I'll lift it up and you play with the nuts. I'm sorry.
To all of you, my dear little things. The main show really had it all tonight. It did. Covered subjects like the NHS, Brexit, gender, religion, and shitting on a sofa. Standard bots night out, it really is. But before we commence tonight's show, I must remind every single person that...
It's Celebrity Big Brother, not Panorama.
All right, it's not Panorama. Bringing it up again now, see? Started off highbrow, bringing it up again now. But no one cares about that because, ladies and gentlemen, she's back. Trisha Goddard's in the house. Yes. She's going to be here a bit later on in the show to discuss our housemates. But Amanda might have had a very important threesome, but I've got an even more important foursome. Let's meet tonight's panel. We've all heard the saying, girls are made of sugar and spice and all things nice. That might be true, but it don't last for long. She is the ultimate #SIW, strong independent woman, thank you, and a real force to be reckoned with. It's my gorgeous Louisa Sisman. Unlike Anne Widdecombe, my next guest is not one to shy away from the dance floor, relighting my fire and popping his botched cherry for the very first time. It's Strictly Come Dancing star AJ Pritchard.
That's all right.
Next up, she made her mark on Love Island this summer, and honey, she's certainly not hibernating for the winter, if you know what I mean. It's Olivia Atwood! And finally, what a show to have him on. He's a former Celebrity Big Brother champ who's definitely not one to hold back his opinions, and believe me, he's been sharpening that tongue all week. It's Jim Davidson!
Sit down.
Who invited Jim Davidson? Come on. All right, well...
I'm cheap.
I know, well, we'll talk about that later. In just 1 hour tonight, we witnessed everything from tyre changing, axe throwing, discussions regarding childcare, mothers' positions in the workplace. I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot. So, Louisa Sisman, what did you take from tonight's show, dear?
Anne needs to get back in her little box. About women and, like, staying at home when they have kids. This is like a night off for me coming here. Honestly, I can't wait to get out of the house away from my three.
Do you know what?
Bye, kids.
Let's be fair. In all seriousness, Jim, there are some smart cookies in there. You know, a lot of people have been saying, we've been looking online, you know, it's probably one of the first few days of Celebrity Big Brother that we've watched, and there's been some really deep chat in there, to be fair. Do you agree with things that they've been talking about?
I haven't understood a word of it. No, I sort of get women, but I don't know how... No, to be honest with you, I don't know how they work. If they come with a... Like,
neither do I, but that's a different matter.
No, seriously. Well, yes. I don't get it. What I think is interesting is how people are getting on with other people that you wouldn't think they would do, like me and Dappy, you know, for instance.
Yeah.
I've noticed that Anne is getting on well with, is it Ashley?
Yeah.
And this is like an exchange of information. and it's good.
It
you
is
can
good.
make one proper person out of the two, perhaps.
Oh, we had to
that was a
take-
bit flippant, but you know what I mean.
I know what you're
I
saying.
think it is exciting, and I'm glad I ain't in there. It's bad enough as being in there with her.
I can't believe you
Just
put me on
one
a
woman.
panel with him.
I know, this is like a drama waiting to happen. Listen, we've spoke about us, we might as well talk about Anne. She might not be able to throw that axe to save her life, but there is no denying how sharp them opinions are. Olivia, let me come to you. You're never one to shy away from a bit of confrontation. Would you be frightened going up against the Widdicombe?
I mean, I'm not really frightened of anyone, so I would go toe-to-toe with her.
They are!
I would, but, I mean, if it was a topic that I was passionate about, I mean, if it's something she knows about, she's silenced a few people in there already, so if it was something I knew about...
You don't want her to make you look...
No, I don't want to be, like, looking small in there next to Anne, but,
I'm not gonna lie, I'd shit myself. I really would. Against Anne Widdicombe, I would be frightened for my life.
I quite like her.
All you've got to do is start talking about Emmerdale and things like that. That she's not in the real world, Anne, is she? She's sort of in a little bubble.
Do you know what? I'd break the ice with cats. We know she loves her cats. I'd go in with a bit of cat chat and be like, Anne, do you like cats? Oh, I love a cat. She'll love me the whole series. That's what I'd do. AJ, she's done Strictly. And isn't it lovely to have AJ on the panel as well? Welcome.
Thank you.
You didn't dance with her, but could you imagine doing a little cheeky passado play with her?
Well, we saw her tonight. She stayed on the couch, didn't she?
She did.
She didn't get up and boogie. I think she needed a lap dance. I think that's what she wanted. her experience on Strictly, that was, I think, the best way to put it. Just memorable. It was very memorable.
Memorable.
Very glitters.
Memorable is a good word.
Yeah, it's what I'm going to stick with. Memorable.
We'll stick with it.
Yeah.
We'll stick with it. But there is
Wise man.
actually someone who might be able to give us a bit of insight. It's a man who got very up close and personal with Anne on the dance floor, may I just add. It's Anne's former partner, Anton Beck. Anton. Hello, you.
Hello, my love. How are you?
I'm very well, Anton. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year to you, and Happy New Year to everybody there, and the studio, and everybody in the house. And AJ, I'd have paid good money to see you give Anne Widdicombe a lap dance.
Here. I think a lot of people would.
can still
Anton,
pay for it.
I've got to ask, were you surprised to hear that she was going in?
Well, I was a bit surprised, but she has, spent many years in the Houses of Parliament, so she's quite used to big personalities and people who talk a load of rubbish and stuff. So she'd be good to go up against anybody. She'll hold her own. Don't you worry about that.
I mean, you spent 10 weeks with her and, like, close contact.
Glorious.
Like, glorious, you
Glorious
say. What is
week.
she really, really like?
She's lovely. She's got a great sense of humour. She doesn't take herself too seriously, and on Strictly Come Dancing, for example, she wanted to have a go at everything. She tried everything. She was the first person. Everybody these days are flying in on Strictly Come Dancing. The whole world's flying around on Strictly Come Dancing. But she was the one who started it. She started the whole flying in thing. So she's game, She's really good fun, actually. She's got a great sense of humor. Very dry. I mean, we don't use bad language in front of Anne. I mean, you have to watch it.
Don't you dare.
Good luck with that in the house, Anne. But she's, you just watch your P's and Q's. But she's absolute delight, and I enjoyed every minute with her.
Anton, I've got to ask you. It's early doors, but do you think she could win it?
Well, she's got my vote. I tell you,
She's got your
I
vote.
think she could win.
She has
I think she can win. I think as long
Anton.
as she's in the house, the more people are going to see her and really sort of get to know her a bit more and get to love her a bit more. I think she'll really come dancing. She's quite a girl. She's
a good girl. Well, listen, Anton, it's such a pleasure speaking to you. Happy New Year again. Give it up for Anton Beck, everyone. Anton. Love her. Well, there was a few times tonight. It did look like Rachel was, I'm going to say it, purposely directing some topics in Anne's way. Jim, do you think she's genuinely interested in what Anne's got to say, or do you think there might be an ulterior motive with Rachel?
I think she is, When you are a model like that, you're stereotyped. We all know about being stereotyped and perception. And I think she wants to speak to Anne, and I think she wants to...
Are you talking about
I think she wants to...
Jim, we're talking about the
I think you're talking about
wrong
Rachel
person.
You're definitely
Johnson.
talking about the wrong person.
Rachel Johnson.
Rachel
Rachel Johnson.
Johnson.
On the screen. They're all on the screen here.
Rachel Johnson.
She wasn't a topless model?
No. She once posed naked for a...
She should be.
Oh, God. Jim.
Well, she'd get my vote. She'd go up in my estimation.
All right, yeah. Olivia, I'm gonna bring this.
I thought it was Rick Parfitt.
No, it's Rachel Johnson. None of that, please. Olivia,
got the
what I was trying to get at is
Why am I
Rachel's
here?
talking to Anne quite a lot
Yeah.
about certain different subjects.
Yeah.
Rachel's a journalist. Do you think she's got her journo head on?
Oh,
in there?
100%. I think that the journalist in her is that you can see the conversation is quite a group, and she'll take it back to Anne, and she knows that a lot of Anne's opinions are quite unpopular, and I think she's goading her to say some of them because she knows the outside reaction and the inside reaction because some of them are quite old-fashioned.
Do you think she's still doing her job in there?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Yeah?
You can see that from the way she's talking to her.
She's literally writing the column as we speak in her head. Right, let's move on to what I like to refer as the Sex and the City section of tonight's show, guys. Really like that. Bit of relationship talk. AJ, did you have a bit of an insight in what women like to talk about?
It was interesting, don't get me wrong, but I was more excited with the axe throwing or who to stay away with from that point. And Anne with the axe throwing, that was, again, a memorable thing. But I wanted to see Maggie with the axe throwing, and I never got to see it.
No, well, she was already immune, wasn't she?
I know, but still, if I was in there, I would have wanted to get involved with that task. It looked fun.
Yeah, I reckon Maggie'd right go.
Yeah,
Maggie'd
she attacked it.
She'd love it. Let's talk about India, actually. She, may I say... No, hang on. Before we, like, ooh or yay or whatever, can we just appreciate she matched that rose gold bikini so lovely with that copper bath. Look, fashion, guys. She is working it. Yes, girl. I like that. That is forward thinking. But let's move the fashion choices aside. She admitted that she hasn't been in a relationship for 20 years. Louisa, let me come to you with this one. Do we appreciate her honesty there? Because for a lot of people to say that, it's, you know, it can be quite embarrassing for a lot of people. Jim, what did you say?
I said I can relate to that. I've not been...
That is so mean, because Jim
I've not been in a relationship.
Jim has a wife
It's okay.
that is long
Well, I'm married.
Apart from your wife.
I am married, so I've not been in a relationship.
Stop
That's
being
all
mean
I'm
to
saying.
Michelle.
Leave
Michelle's so
Michelle
nice.
alone.
Poor Michelle.
I do.
think she's quite an open book, India, isn't she? Sometimes she goes on a lot about her transitioning. Bit bored of that now, we all know, blah, blah, blah. I don't like, big deal, you did that, get on with it now, you're a woman, thanks very much. So I think she's just, I don't know, it feels like she's trying to get the sympathy vote a bit. And I don't really like that. I'm not like her biggest fan. I didn't like the gold bikini and I don't like her people boobies.
Right, well, a lot of people here seem to have quite a strong opinion about India
You know
already.
what I do want
He's
this...
back, everyone. We tried to ban him, we couldn't.
I don't want it to become the India show, do you know what I mean? She seems to be the only one that's craving attention. Other housemates have got more depth, they're more intellect, they've got something better to say. She's just going on about the same thing.
That's fair
We're
enough.
done.
That's
We're
fair enough.
done.
Who thinks what India's doing is highlighting a big point? And Barbara does. Sorry, darling, I didn't knock you out. Go on, Barb.
I do like
Lovely
her.
brooch tonight,
Thank you,
darling.
sweetie. Thank you. I think she's very brave. And she's going to talk about it because it's a big thing in her life. I mean, if I'd had my boobs done, I'd want to sit here and... No, you would.
You normally do, Barbara, you filthy one. She's here in the bar before the show. Right, 2 days in, we are, look, and we're doing it now, we're pretty deep in with the conversation stuff. Olivia, the men will be going in tomorrow. Do we think... Do we think... It's been quite emotionally mature in the house the first few days. Do we think the men are going to match that level?
No, they won't. But the only thing I say, when I was in the villa, when the boys are taken away, the girls do bond better. So it's going to all change when the men go in. But I think it's time. Like, I'm so bored of Newsnight in the house.
Well, you say Newsnight, but let's remember...
It's Celebrity Big Brother, not Panorama.
May I just say, it's not Panorama. And on that note, because it's not Panorama, let's just get it back to bots a bit, shall we? Shall we? Jim?
What?
Show us your sex face.
My what?
Your sex face. Sex face.
Okay?
Please don't.
No, I can show you
God.
my face after sex. Hang on. I'm coming home now, love. I'm joking.
I would just like to apologise to the entire nation and Jim's wife, Michelle, for that. Give him a round of applause, please. Shut him up.
Standing up for
Right, still to come, find out why India's getting all hot and bothered. But first, I'm feeling a bit clement tonight, like the weather. Did you like that reference tonight? I'm going to take a leaf out of Anne's book and do some much-needed exercise. I'll see you straight after the break. Come on, guys. Welcome back to Celebrity Big Brothers. Bit on the side. Done the exercise for today. Cheers, Anne. And you know what? It's time for tomorrow's headlines in today's news. OK, top stories tonight. Malika gets sucked in. India's closed her borders. Rachel's losing herself. And India's very hot at this time of year. First, at 11:42 this morning, Malika was having a domestic over an appliance.
Oh, yay, a vacuum. Oh, my God, do you know
You're kidding me?
Oh, my God.
Oh, I never thought I'd be so pleased to hear.
Oh, I'm
see,
vacuuming the whole house. You have
Result.
no idea. I
you
won't even
having
take
fun?
the chance of the damn thing getting locked.
No, let's
When I'm
keep
done
it.
with the tuna
Are
and
you
my
having
breakfast.
the first go?
Oh, babe, I'm sorry.
I love cleaning.
Okay, well, I'll let you do a corner.
Is that all right? Yeah, let's split it.
We can share it.
Yeah. Oh, it's great.
Who gets that excited about a damn vacuum? I just found a toy.
Fabulous.
Yeah, well done, Malika. Doing a really good job of breaking those gender stereotypes. Then at 12:31 this afternoon, India was having a very blonde moment.
There's a few individuals. I think Rachel. Do you know what? Maybe it could turn out to be the case that the house ain't big enough for two blonde journalists born in September 1965.
What was that about women getting catty? I can't wait to see what happens between those two when the men go in. But later, at 1:31, we learnt what Rachel's husband really thinks of her.
Rachel, how do you think the house is going to change when the guys get here?
Well, it will be interesting to see if people remain true to the characters they have presented in the first section of the series of this section. You know what I told you what my husband's last words to me were before I left.
Don't be
yourself.
I think that's the most hilarious thing and the best
he knows
advice.
That is,
He's like, so what?
He knows. I just give myself enough rope to hang myself.
That's funny.
If that's not the real Rachel, who is? And finally, at 3:42 this afternoon, India was letting off some steam.
Oh, that is fantastic. Oh, proper heat.
This is Big Brother. Could India not wear her mic whilst in the sauna?
We just appreciate that. First bit of sauna action of the series. You go on, girl. And that's tonight's Buzz News. Right, on the surface, our amazing eight seem quite a smart bunch. But how would they fare in TV's toughest quiz? Let's have a little look.
1980?
100 years ago, 1918.
1918, and it was women above 30. It's 1918. I can't remember. I'm gonna say women.
I think it's women.
I would say men.
Men, what's going on?
I've never watched an episode of Celebrity Big Brother in my life. I haven't a clue, and I don't actually think it matters.
You got a calculator. 10 times 7 is 70.
33, 34...
187.
I'm really bad at maths, so just give me a few seconds.
56, 66...
70 minus 16. 64, 74, 84, 85, 86, 87.
There's no time limit on this, right?
It's 150. Oh, no, I forgot. I need a pen.
Work it out.
189. 187.
Weigh the same. If they're both tons, then neither is heavier than the other. And surely everybody, when they were about 6, did which is heavier, a ton of feathers or a ton of coal. And if they didn't, they've missed out on their education.
How big are the boxer shorts? I'd say a ton of high-heeled shoes would be heavier, because they're heavier than a pair of boxers.
High-heeled shoes.
A ton of high-heeled shoes, for sure.
Guys, so they weigh the same.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
What do you mean, and don't watch Celebrity Big Brother? I'll have a word with her. Right, don't go anywhere, because after the break, it is time for the return of an all-round independent woman who takes sass from no one, let me tell you. And I ain't talking about Reverend Canon Ann Easter. She's back next week. Trisha Goddard is in the studio. Yes, I'll see you straight after this. To Celebrity Big Brother's bit on the side. Now, listen, I am literally so excited to announce the launch of a brand new item on the show, guys. Yeah. It's time for the first instalment of... Oh, hello and welcome to the very first Widdy Watch. It might have only been 2 days, but we've already enjoyed the many faces of Anne Widdecombe, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we have. Yes, we have. So, let's have a look at our first one. The how did I end up here face. The that one tickled me face. There it is, look. And the please stop talking about sex face. There it is. Fascinating, riveting stuff that you only get it here. Keep it locked here on Bots for more Widdy Watch in the days to come. I'm Ryland Clark-Neal. Night-night. Do you know what I mean? Love a bit of Widdy Watch. Right now, during the summer, I reached a whole new level of my career when I brought this absolute legend back onto our screens. And as a female, as a boss, as a lady overflowing with class, beauty and opinions, I'm so thrilled to say for 2018, it's time for the return of... Trisha! I'm just going to let it happen. I'm just going to let it happen. Welcome back, gorgeous.
Thank you, darling.
I so love it. Did you have a lovely
Thank
Christmas
you.
and New Year?
I think I did.
It was a good one, guys.
Well, I had my big birthday.
She had a very big birthday lately, guys. 25, wasn't it?
60.
60! Happy birthday, gorgeous. Well, listen,
Thank you.
I know you're loving this already. This bunch of housemates, it's very different to what we're usually used to. So far, it's been a bit more politics than partying. How interesting are you finding the mix?
I think it's absolutely fantastic. In fact, I think loose women could take a leaf out of their
Oh! Shady. Shady over there. Shady.
Just saying, it's really interesting. I'm loving it.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, what other show would you get, like, the former Shadow Health Secretary and a glamour model
Exactly.
having a chat in a kitchen? That's why I love it.
Yeah.
And do you know what? That actual moment I really, really liked, and we'll talk about it. Let's have a look at it first.
So, Anne, do you miss being in Parliament?
No, if I was going to miss it, I wouldn't have left.
Yeah. It always interests me, because I've never really... Well, when I was younger, I never took much interest in it. It wasn't something that was in my world kind of thing. But now, there's so much going on that you can't help but be interested. I actually really love Anne now. She's really wonderful, and I think she's up for talking to me and teaching me stuff, and I like that. And I think Rachel is a similar person like that too. I kind of want to be like them, I suppose.
Now, Jess is 28. She's one of her youngest housemates at the moment. Yeah. She wants to be like Anne, she said. Do you think she can learn anything from Anne?
I just answered that. No, Jess is one of those people who wants to be wherever she feels the power is. And once those guys get in the house, trust me, she will not want to be like Anne or Rachel.
You don't think? Trisha's come back with a bit of sass this series, hasn't she? I mean, let's be fair, Anne's had a life. She's had a lot of life experience as well. With what we've seen over the past few days, do you think we're in for a brand new type of Big Brother with what we've seen?
What, because of Anne's experience?
I'm just giving an example, Trisha. Don't turn on me.
It is going to be a really different Big Brother because I can't wait to see Anne when the guys come into the house. How she interacts with them, because she has said before that she actually prefers the company of men.
Yeah.
I mean, she might have been joking, but let's wait and see. Maybe Jess will have a bit of competition.
Right, can you... Please don't. Just don't.
Nightmares.
I just mentioned life experience. We need to move on to our oldest housemate that's in there, Amanda Barry. She's got age, she's got wisdom, but with them, do we think she could potentially become Queen Bee of the house?
I don't think she's interested in becoming Queen Bee. She's at that age of life where she is who she wants to be, she's done what she wants to do, and she doesn't really give a damn. I don't think she's interested in the power, not so much as perhaps Rachel might be, for instance.
Well, that's fair enough. We'll talk about Rachel in a minute. But one thing we've noticed about Amanda, and I think this is why a lot of our audience, and maybe the housemates inside like her, she's definitely not afraid to open up. Here's another clip for you. Have a look.
I mean, I'd had various sex relationships of different sorts. And I mean, I even did live as a threesome at one time in my youth. I just
So you had a threesome with a man and a woman?
Yeah. Years and years and years and years ago. Very important one, actually.
Very what? Very
important one. I also had a very sort of strange, odd feeling that if you're living with a sort of a lie of something, you really can't be honest
at all with anyone.
With anyone, you edit yourself.
Now, it is quite rare, especially this early on in the series, that we see celebrities walk into that house and be so honest and quite upfront about things. What does that tell you about Amanda?
I love her, and I love the fact that she is so honest. And the really strange thing is she's being honest with someone I don't feel is being that honest at the moment. I think that Rachel is still being a journalist, and we're not seeing the real Rachel. Whereas Amanda is 100% gold. What you see is what you get. I love her.
That's her.
That's her.
Let's talk about India, because, I mean, look, she's been on this panel a lot of time.
No, that's interesting.
I'm really interested.
Why do people do that?
I know. She seems to have divided opinion within 2 days. I'm not 100% sure why. We weren't really getting this last night. It's only since tonight's episode. To us, I mean, she seems like a girl that, you know, just wants to have fun and go in there. Is she looking at Celebrity Big Brother as more of a career thing, or do you think she's just looking in there to celebrate herself and just relax?
I don't think she... Here's the thing, I don't think she is relaxing. I wish she would just take a deep breath and just be. She's also a big fan of Big Brother, remember? She's watched it a lot. And one of the things about having fun and playing a game, I think she thinks she's going to be more popular and more seen if it's in a light and frivolous sort of situation. But I just wish she'd just sort of rein it back and just take a deep breath and relax.
No, I think that's a fair comment as well. Well, I've got a little exclusive for you now, because she's been hot topic again today in the house. This is an exclusive clip. Have a look.
Do you know that India did the whole clearing up last night?
What?
India cleared up last night.
Yeah, everything.
I think he did everything.
Didn't they do anything?
Yeah, I've done that.
I can't believe I did that.
Yeah, I've noticed that you both said it, but I didn't.
I did it yesterday.
Not with him, in the room.
Yes. At least, thank God, you haven't done it with him. I can't cope. I can't cope.
Yeah, I don't know, because I really think of her as her.
It's our generation.
Goodness.
I do think of her that way. So, I mean,
What, you do think of her as he?
Yeah.
You? That's really interesting.
And therefore, I'm watching myself the whole time. And I mean, yesterday I slipped up.
I think you just have to be sensitive to understand that she has always felt a she. So I imagine even if she was very graceful about it, it must sting.
Oh, I'm sure it did, but you know, it wasn't intentional.
We're going to be the house dinosaurs now, from now on.
We are the dinosaurs.
We are the house dinosaurs.
Now, look, we've seen Anne do this before, and India, you know, she went up to Anne and she said, look, Anne, I get it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've been talking about it and stuff like that. In your opinion, Anne just said it, do you think they are coming across as dinosaurs, as they've said?
In their opinions, because Rachel is only 52. I mean, she's a kid compared to me. And I mean, if somebody has gone through all of that to be who they are, then you respect that. You know, doesn't matter what. And
do you think? Look, I don't want to put you on the spot here.
No,
do you think it was meant with any malicious?
No, I don't think it was meant.
I don't.
But I also think there's a whole. No, I don't. I think there's a whole generation of people. We have to be aware. There's a whole generation of people who will think the same way as Rachel and Anne. And I'd like to see them learn and drag a few people into this century with them.
Okay. Well, look, we needed to talk about it, and I'm sure this will rumble on as the series goes on.
You wait till the guys come into the house and...
Yeah. Well, you'll like this. Wait for this for a transition.
Oh.
Let's move east from India to the USA. Do you like that? I didn't write it. It's that LA girl, Malika. Now, on paper, she is a completely different housemate to the others. She has got this totally different life that none of the others have got. What are you making of her? Because I'm going to say it. I'm really pleasantly surprised by her so far.
Yes. And she was so pleased seeing that vacuum cleaner.
Yeah. And you know what I'm like with an Hoover? Love it.
Yeah, you suck. Oh, very India. Very India. No, I like Malika because she's quite relaxed, isn't she? And I'm interested because I haven't seen a lot of interaction between Anne and Malika yet. That's something that I'm waiting to see. I don't think Anne is very sweet, but she has her own little world, and it's very, very small.
She's got her visors on.
Yes, and the Malikas of the world, and the Indias of this world, and the Jessers of this world, and, well, most people in this world. No, I like Malika, and I think she's doing the Kardashians proud.
I've got to say, she's coming across well at the minute. That is exactly the reason why I've brought you back, and I'm so, so glad you're back. Give it up for the First Lady. Welcome back. Right, don't go anywhere, because in just a minute I'm going to be revealing which housemate is hugging it out with the Widdicombe. Any ideas? Any ideas?
Oh, it's going to... Not India again, please.
Do you reckon?
Oh, please.
Awkward hug?
Awkward hug.
Find out after the break. That was brilliant. Welcome back to Celebrity Big Brother's bit on the side. Right, as part of my continual efforts to improve this show, all of us, the team here at Bots, think it's vital to deliver you, the viewer at home, exclusives that you won't be able to see on the main show, guys. That's what we do. That is what we do. That, my friends, is where the Bots Cam comes in, yeah? What technology these days. In the past, some might have been bold enough to call it a filler, bit of a filler in the show. I like to think of it as it just fills in the gaps in the show. You know, it's your overall Big Brother viewing experience. So, with that in mind, let's cross over to the Box Cam right now. Look, well, I mean a hub of social activity. It really, really is. I mean, now you see why we bring it back. Do you know what I mean? That main show can't compete with us, no. Stunning. And I was actually just thinking about the main show. You know them new, like, little looks that they've got? Like, with the big coming in, the drone shots to the house? I didn't like that. I thought maybe we should try it. Should we try it? Yeah. Right, so Jib, let's go up. Look, drone shot. Look, we can do that as well. Look, it's the look. That's the little, like, hot tub there. Look. Oh, the housemate. Look, it's in the sky. I'm in the sky. No, it's not working. bring it back. Just bring it back. Just go to another exclusive.
Men generally get a bit of a bad rap. I'm a bit fed up in here listening to some of the conversations, which are just like, ugh. There are plenty of good guys in this world.
Loads and loads.
And I don't think you can say one gender behaves in a particular way. It's just ridiculous.
I think there are
It's
certain
nonsense.
characteristics to the different
Yeah,
sexes,
there certainly is. But you shouldn't stereotype.
But the fact remains is that men are more physically powerful.
Yeah, and in many ways, I actually think the world has swung too far to the feminine side, and people are a little bit nervous about taking on women.
I mean, I think the gender and the differences between the genders are just biological facts.
Yeah.
And I think that the boys do go for the engines and the girls do go for the dolls. And I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah. Do you know what? There will be people at home when they hear that absolutely fizzing with fury.
Oh, they will. They'll throw things at the screen. But I can't see
Anne,
anything wrong with
do you know what? Anne, I'm going to give you a hug because I think you are bang on. You know, people might think that you're a stuffy stick in the mud.
I am.
But, well, in some ways, perhaps.
It's actually a proper hug this time. Lou, are we surprised to see these two seeming to get on?
I think India's just despairing of Anne, and she's like, oh, fuck it, let's just... Do you know what I mean? She's like, whatever, Anne, and Anne's like, yeah, sure. I love Anne.
You like Anne?
I really, really like Anne. I'd get on with Anne.
You reckon?
I would, yeah.
Olivia, do we think these two could be like the sort of... We said this the other night, what's the opposite to bromance? I found out it's womance. Do we think these two...
Homance.
Who?
Homance.
Oh, highbrow, babe. We're going highbrow this series. Do we think these two could become BFFs all of a sudden?
No, I really hope not. I found that really insincere, personally. I think India is a little bit scared of Anne, and I think she's just chosen there to pretend like she agreed, but I don't think she really did.
What do you think? I think... Of course you think something.
India knows that she's going to get airtime if she alliances with Anne. Yeah, do you know what that's it? Yeah. That's all it is. India wants airtime.
Does anyone disagree? Do you disagree?
No, I don't disagree. No, actually, what? Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry, but I'm.
Do you want a water?
I'm fine.
Sure. Do you want to lay down?
I don't agree with what Anne's doing with India.
Yeah.
Because I think she does not agree with India, and I believe that she just hugged her just for the sake.
Glass of water for this gentleman, please. Well done. We got there. All right. I mean, we can all agree this year's theme has done, in all fairness, a good job of addressing the female stereotypes. Gone are the days of bitching and backstabbing. Instead, we've got a harmonious house filled with righteous women standing their ground and pulling together as one. But the big question is, will all of that come crashing down tomorrow night when 8 men join the fold? Will that sisterhood stay strong, or will the addition of masculinity corrupt these newfound values and prevail in destroying the house as we know it? I might be slightly overreacting, but I think we should discuss it anyway. Tonight, Malika said that she was excited for the men to enter. Amen, that's what I got. Lou, are we ready for some male action?
I'm ready for some male action.
You're ready for it?
I'm ready for it. I think it's been nice, hasn't it?
It's been lovely.
It's been nice, but now we're ready to bring on the boys, I think.
Jim, you've been in now. How would you feel moving in with this lot of ladies?
My bag is packed. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the phone to ring. Actually, it's going to take some brave guys to go in there. I think the whole atmosphere will change. Men and women together react differently as if they're separate.
Yeah.
And I think that's good. That's what it's all about. I just feel sorry for the poor bastards that are going in there.
I've got to say, AJ, let me come to you. Like, this series, it has done what it intended to do, you know, an all-female launch. All the girls going in on launch night. We've seen...
It's been very political, very highbrow, very boring.
Oh, you think boring?
It has.
So how do you think the men are going to change that, then?
I think it's going to bring some excitement, and they're obviously going to come in and they're going to be very macho men, and it's going to be very interesting how the women and which women change very quickly.
OK, Olivia, let me come to you then. Which women do you think are going to change?
And...
No, I don't. Anne's not changing, is she? I think
Anne will never change. Whoever comes in.
Ashley.
But she's getting on my nerves anyway, because she's just saying everything what people want to hear all the time. She's always there, like, agreeing with everyone.
Girl.
The scalp bleach annoys me, and her trying to please everyone annoys me. Oh, she's definitely going to change when the boys come in. I know Jess, and I don't think Jess will change too much, to be honest with you.
You don't?
I don't think she'll be too
I
fast.
think Trisha was a bit mean about Jess.
Yeah.
I just want to say that because she was saying, oh, you know, made out that Jess is stupid and is trying to be clever and hanging around with Anne and Rachel.
Fight!
And she's not. I really like Jess. I think she's a nice girl. And
She's
I think
coming
there's
across as a
nothing
nice
wrong
girl.
with being like on page 3.
Yeah.
And then being able to hold an intelligent conversation.
Well, you say that, and she is holding an intelligent
annoys me,
conversation in there.
Trisha.
Louisa's waving her hand now and everything. Watch out, Trisha. But let's go back to Anne quickly, because Olivia, you said she's not going to change. Before she entered the house, she told Emma normal interaction is between the two sexes, not just confined to one. In tonight's show, she said, in no uncertain terms, she prefers male company. So, Olivia, let me come back to you.
I'm with her on that as well, I do, but I think that she will...
Jim? Just a guess.
Jim?
What?
Yes, Olivia, go on!
I think she's not going to change. I think she'll feel more comfortable, if I'm honest, because from her background, with her work and everything, I think she'll enjoy having conversation with men as well. And I think she's a little bit bored of this, like, gender...
I agree with you. Olivia, I agree with you.
Thank you, Jim.
I think the sparkle will come out because people... Everyone wants to be liked, especially if you go in that house. Look, me, a comedian. Like me, I'll make you laugh. That's what it is. So you want people to like you. What? I'm what?
And you're going deaf. Look, Jim's gone so deaf. It's
Did
brilliant.
you say I'm not a girl? Listen, another half an inch and I am.
I didn't say that.
Do you know what? I'm going to take it away from here. God help me, I'm going into this lot again. What do we think the men are going to bring, guys? Come on. Is it going to change?
I think that the house is going to separate once the men go in. I think the women will start separating with the men. That's what I
You think so? What else do we think? Anyone else? Oh, Barbara. Who put Barbara at the bloody back? Go on.
I think that they'll let their hair down. I think they'll smile more and they'll have more of a, like, bop around and all that, rather than just sitting about chatting.
Do you think we'll start seeing the celebrity Big Brother we used to seeing?
Are the men going to get questions of stereotyping like the women did?
Oh, I'm sure that there's a lot of that involved coming up. Don't you worry about that. Anne, listen, she might want some male company. Jim's having a chat on his own. He's just loving life. Anne's looking forward to the men's company, but the boys entering the house will put an end to Anne's luxury private bedroom. Now, we know she doesn't live with anyone. Well, this is what I'm saying. She don't live with anyone in there. We saw Indy the other night say, you know, Anne, I'll swap beds with you if you don't want to sleep in the boys' room, if that's how it's going to be. How is Anne going to cope sleeping with strangers, Jim? And more importantly, how are they going to cope with her snoring?
Well, I had a problem with Lionel Blair.
Lord Lionel?
No, because he moaned about my snoring, but it's just one of them things.
Snore like a pig.
I don't snore. All right, I mentioned my snoring, I won't mention the toothbrush. Oh, yes. Let's move on.
OK,
Let's move on. We'll call it a draw. I think Anne will be stimulated by men there listening to her, so there's more to come from Anne Widdecombe, I think. She's not just a clown. She's a clever woman, and make no mistake, you don't get to be heard just by being the clown.
No,
that is
totally
a clever
agree.
woman, and there's more to come.
Totally agree with you there, definitely. She's not a joke.
Love her.
We love Anne.
Love you, Annie.
Love you, Anne.
Love you.
AJ, obviously, the men coming in, like anyone that's been in that house, I know you've not been in there yet, may I say. There's always time, AJ. Anyone coming in at a later stage, and although it's a staggered launch pretty much, anyone coming in, they're at a bit of a disadvantage because that group of people have already got into that surrounding, they've made their sort of friends, if you like, they've had that bonding time. Do you think the women will still be running the house when the men go in there?
I think they've got an advantage. They get to come in, they see who's with who, they see how everything works. And obviously, I want to see how Maggie changes, because she's obviously like the mother. She's going to have a great time. She's going to have more conversations.
I like Maggie.
She's who I want to see more of. I want to see
Maggie
more of.
for me.
We haven't seen enough
But Louisa, why?
Do you know what? I think we haven't seen enough Maggie. Maybe perhaps...
More Maggie.
She's like really the only non-celeb one, isn't she?
She's calm,
and
she's listening.
I really want to see more of her, and I feel like it's being taken over by India, going on all the time. And I love her. little bit to the
Maggie.
original Big Brother roots of normal people and viewing that behaviour and how those interactions between people instead of, like,
You're
you
right.
know, nutters. So I'd quite like to see more of Maggie, hear about her story. She's a very interesting woman. She's got really
Do we agree?
interesting background.
They all seem to agree. Well, listen, what a show tonight. Give them a massive round of applause. Come on. That is it. A massive thank you to my panel and a fantastic audience, as per usual. I'll be back just after 11 tomorrow when John Barnes and the rest of the men will be entering the Celebrity Big Brother house. Joining me, Emma Willis, Rebecca Vargi, Georgia Kasulu, Tommy Mallet and Eamon Holmes, OBE. Until then.